UFC 323 is the last pay-per-view of 2025, and we are in for a treat. We have Merab Dvalishvili defending his belt for the fourth time in a calendar year, which sets an all-time UFC record. We have Alexandre Pantoja in the co-main event, looking to get closer and closer to the greatness that was Demetrius Johnson. My name is Angelo, this is We Want Picks, and I'm going to break down the entire UFC 323 fight card, giving you my picks, predictions, and bets. UFC 323 might be the last pay-per-view of the year, but it's not the last fight of the year. We go right back to the Apex for the final fight card of the year. Brandon Royval taking on Manuel. We have a lot of really good fights left. The year is winding down, but the fights are going nowhere. And on the other side of that jump, we have the new UFC, whatever that looks like, on Paramount. We have free fights on CBS. We have a brand new production crew. We have everything going to Paramount, and I am very excited. If you do want to check out every pick, every bet, every tool, the artificial intelligence, if you want to check out everything that we have for these fights and the soon-to-be-announced UFC 324 and the fight nights on the other side of the jump fights, go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. You'll have full access to literally everything now and for an entire month for $10. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. The year's winding down, but we have two vlogs left. We have the UFC 323 vlog and the holiday vlog. That's been an annual tradition here. If you want to send something for the vlogs, here is the address. Some people send stuff to promote their small business. We just got a recipe for UFC 322. If you have a recipe you want to send, my fat ass would love to make it, eat it, and review it in the vlogs. Send whatever you want to We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406, Prosper, Texas, 75078. Then we have that Black Friday. Thanksgiving is this week. I'm filming this early, as I always do. Thanksgiving is this week. So if you're looking for a hot deal to get your man, or if you're already a man and you're looking for something for yourself, go to WeWantPicks.com/Hayabusa, or just go directly to Hayabusa. Promo code WWP gets you 10% off. On top of the already heavily discounted for Black Friday stuff that Hayabusa is offering. Hayabusa, if you have never touched their stuff or used it, worn it, seen it, it is by far the best quality combat gear in this space. They're not a clothing company. You're not going to get a bunch of cool t-shirts to pretend like, no, it is straight up gis, no-gi shorts, boxing gloves, boxing shoes, pullovers. Like, it is straight up training gear of the highest quality. Check them out. They support us. We need to support them. Promo code WWP, 10% off anything, your entire order at Hayabusa. Let's go ahead and jump into this fight card. I'm filming this early. You know why? Yeah, it's Thanksgiving week in America. It's not Thanksgiving everywhere. A bunch of you live in different countries. Even the people here in America. Some of you have to work. Some of you want a normal week. Some of you rely on this content to get you through whatever bullshit job you're working. And I am here for the boys. You will get a Sunday breakdown video no matter what. Break, no break, fights, no matter what. And I do that for you. So if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this, do me a favor. Show me the appreciation. Click the subscribe button. And to show you how much I appreciate you, we're going to break down this freaking fight card. We have Naimov taking on Mairon Santos. I broke down this entire card early. Like early. With zero odds whatsoever. I had no odds anywhere for every single fight on this card except the main and the co-main. Odds are now out there, so I've updated the graphics. Every breakdown I'm about to do was without the odds. And I always do breakdowns without the odds. But typically I'll do the breakdown without the odds, then look at the odds. And I might amend my breakdown sometimes. This time around, wasn't available. Nice clean breakdowns. We got Muhammad Naimov. This guy's pretty well-rounded. He does prefer to strike, but he can wrestle when he needs to. He's pretty fast. He's pretty athletic. He is flashy for no reason. He'll plot forward. He'll throw in combinations. He'll close the distance. He will clinch. He'll box you up in the clinch as well. He is very tough. He is very durable. He is very well-rounded, and he can get wins at this level. He's not a finisher. He is not a finisher. He is not really dangerous. He's just looking to kind of cruise by, get a win for the least difficult path possible. He is taking on Mairon Santos, big, powerful striker. He's got good takedown defense, plenty of patience. He's not just swinging heavy, trying to knock your block off. He's going to take his time. He's going to plot forward, find his shots. You can see here he's kind of low volume at 3.53 significant strikes per minute, but in execution, it's really just trying to find those spots. He's not really looking to wrestle. He can if he needs to. He's mostly just going to defend the takedowns. He's got a really wide base. If he does not find a stoppage, he will keep his composure, and he will continue forward with the game plan. He is coming off that win over Sadiq Yusuf. Muhammad Naimov, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, and he's got good wins. He has been winning at this level, but he has no sense of urgency. He's perfectly content just squeaking out a close decision. So when he fights somebody with pressure and volume and he doesn't match their energy, he can end up playing catch-up. And I think that's what we're going to get here. I think Mairon sets a better pace. I think he's the more accurate striker. I think he defends the takedowns, which will ultimately lead to a decision win for Mairon Santos. Mairon's going to be the pick. If you want better odds, I was shocked when I finally got odds and saw he was a 2-1 favorite. Feels a little closer than that. If you want better odds, I think it's okay to go all the way to Mairon by points or Mairon by decision. Then we have Ibo Aslan taking on Iwo Baraniewski. This is another fun fight. They're just going to get after it. Two light heavyweights that are going to get after it. Ibo Aslan, heavy-handed guy. He can knock you out with half power, with short hooks. He's wide. He's sloppy, but it doesn't really matter. He's all power. He's got plenty of it in both hands. He's not really looking to wrestle, but he will sneak in the occasional body lock to trip, and then he can tee off if he gets to the ground. He does have some cardio issues, but when he wins early. If he doesn't win early, he's going to fade. He is coming off that decision loss to Billy Elikana, which was a staring contest. They stared at each other for 15 full minutes. Ibo blinked. Billy didn't blink, and that's how you win a staring contest. He's taking on Iwo Baraniewski. Very exciting guy. Well-rounded also. On the feet, he's got the Polish power. He's got big, lunging, right, heavy hands. He shoots well-timed takedowns. On the ground, he's going to blast away. He's going to look for a finish. He's active. He can take the fight anywhere. He's still pretty young in his career, but outside of cleaning up some techniques, I can't look at it and say, oh, there's giant gaps. Oh, his takedown defense sucks, because it doesn't. Oh, he needs better wrestling. Everything needs improvement. That's how it works when you're early in your career, but he can do all of it. And if you watch the tape study, you can see he has done all of it. He's not just knocking people out, so we'll find out what the takedown defense is. He literally is knocking people out, taking them down, submitting them, defending takedowns. Well-rounded guy. Ibo Aslan looks the part. The guy's carved out of stone. I mean, he's a great-looking dude, phenomenal shape. He looks the part. The problem is he looks the part against regional guys. If you're undersized, if you're inexperienced, or you're just not that good, fighting Ibo Aslan is a nightmare. But if you just aren't a pussy and you have more than a few minutes of cardio, you can beat him. Iwo, at least according to the regional tape, is not a pussy. I see Iwo landing clean. I see him transitioning to wrestling. I think he's the better fighter overall. As long as he's not frozen by the bright lights of, oh my God, I'm in the UFC on a major pay-per-view event. As long as that doesn't happen, I think he wins here. So I threw a half a unit on him at minus 140. These odds just dropped a day and a half ago. And I got it at minus 140. It's already moved to minus 155. I imagine it's going to continue to move. If you are a premium member, you got it at minus 140 because A, I sent you a push notification in our free app. B, I sent you a notification in the Discord. And C, it was on the website. So hopefully you're a premium member. You get access to the bets instantly when we place them, which means you beat some of the line move. If you're not a premium member, go to the website, support the boys. Support the boys. It's $10. Skip a coffee. Skip one coffee a month, and we're square. WeWantPicks.com. Then we have, this fight's definitely not going to be this early on the card, but it is for now, so we're going to break it down here. We have Edson Barboza taking on Jalin Turner in what could be an absolute banger. This could be a really fun fight, even with Edson's droopy eye. Edson Barboza, great striker, amazing movement. He has fought every single person in this division. If you scroll through his fight history, your finger's going to get tired from all the scrolling. He has been around forever. He has fought literally everybody. He is a walking highlight reel of knockouts and submissions. He is unbelievably fast, insanely technical. He doesn't initiate a lot of takedowns, but he is so good on the ground, and he's got such sneaky submissions that people aren't always trying to take him down either. He is coming off that decision loss to Jakar Close, where he defended the takedown attempts, and he landed more significant strikes. He's taking on Jalin Turner, a good boxer. He comes forward. He keeps that fight at range. He likes to move forward, but still keep you at the end of his punches. Ridiculously tall. 6'3" at lightweight, and he's one of the very few people that can use that length and that range really well. Even though he is known as a striker, 3 of his last 5 wins are by submission, which just shows you how well-rounded he is. He is coming off that retirement loss to Ignacio Bahamondes where he was submitted, and then he left the sport. And when you break down fights, you look at their aggression, their grappling skills, their striking skills, maybe weight cuts. You look at different factors, you weight those factors, and you come up with a conclusion and you make a pick. So what percentage of MMA and winning a fight in a cage is mental? Is it an even split? Is it 50% ability, 50% mental? Is it 80% fight skill, 20% mental? Whatever percentage you assign to mental toughness, subtract that from your confidence in Jalin Turner. Just delete it from the equation. It's a zero in the formula. Jalin should win this fight. He's better. He's younger. He's longer. He's got great striking. He's got great BJJ, but his brain is not right. He is very Jimmy Crute coded right now. A couple of tough losses, so he took his ball. He went home. He quit. I quit. I'm going home. I'm done. Just regrets immediately the emotional decision that he made on the fly, and then he unretired. So here he is just a few short months after retirement. Not a few short months after his last fight. A few short months after I'm retiring. And he's back. At this point in their careers, Jalin should be the better fighter. But if he shows up and he's not 100% prepared because a couple of months ago he quit, maybe he's showing up for the wrong reasons, maybe he just had a breakdown for an hour and a half and then he was fine, I don't know. And that's what makes this all very difficult. To spend minus 220 on a guy that quit the sport because he was losing is crazy. Should he win? Yes. Am I going to pick him? Yes. I'm going to pick the better fighter in a matchup that he should win. But at these odds, to throw money down on a guy as emotional as he is who quit the sport, it's the exact same thing we talked about with Jimmy Crute. The exact same thing. I like Jalin Turner. After his last loss to Ignacio Bahamondes, where he said he was leaving, in my recap video, I said you should absolutely not leave this sport. You are still young. You are still very good. You still have a lot more to offer. A couple of high-level losses don't define your entire career. You still have a lot to give to this sport. So hopefully you find yourself. That was my recap then. I feel the exact same way now. I hope he has found himself. I hope he gets a showcase win here. And I hope all the thoughts of like, I want out are gone. I hope they're long gone. Jalin Turner's too good to be quitting on the spot because of a couple of losses. I need to fucking slap him. Wake up. You're better than this. Hopefully he smokes Edson and Jalin Turner's back in the mix. And we have another very interesting matchup here. We have two fights on this card where the odds are 100% dead even, and they have been since they opened. This is the first one. We got Marvin Vettori taking on Brunno Ferreira. Marvin Vettori, as we all know, the block-headed forward pressure grappler. His grappling is not great. He's not great. He's just kind of plotting forward, punch, 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 maybe shoot a takedown. He hasn't been shooting a lot of takedowns as of late, but the striking does continue to improve. He's gotten very comfortable on the feet, and when he's not comfortable, it's fine because his head is made out of the same things they made the pyramids out of. You're not doing shit to this guy's head. He is averaging a little more than one takedown per fight. He is coming off his third loss in a row, however, this time to Brendan Allen. He's taking on heavy-handed Brunno Ferreira. This guy's a powerful striker. He's light in his feet. He's going to bounce in and out. He's constantly mixing up his attacks. He does a really good job going in the pocket, landing, leaving the pocket. He can grapple as well. He's got high-level judo. He's got big, powerful takedowns. The grappling is there if he's in trouble. He doesn't always initiate it, but if you clinch with him, you're going to go for a ride. He is coming off that submission win over Jackson McVeigh. Marvin Vettori is on an unfortunate 3-fight skid, but they have literally been to some of the best middleweights on the planet. This is a massive step down. I'm a huge Brunno guy. I picked Brunno to beat Gregory Rodriguez when that fight happened. He was a huge dog. This is a giant step down in competition, and I have to assume that it's going to be evident in the cage. Brunno is dangerous, but that doesn't matter because Marvin is literally the most durable middleweight. The most durable middleweight in the division. The most durable middleweight we've ever seen. It used to be Kelvin Gastelum, but we've seen Kelvin a little wobbled. It's starting to give out on him. Kelvin is jealous of Marvin's chin. So I don't see Marvin getting knocked out on the feet. I think he's got good enough grappling to stay safe if they end up on the ground. Being durable isn't like the only reason you should ever pick somebody to win a fight. But when your opponent only has one round of cardio, which is Brunno's issue, then being durable, surviving early, and moving forward is good enough for Marvin Vettori. So Marvin Vettori should absolutely win this fight. Marvin is the pick. But if he loses here, what do you do with a guy on a 4-fight losing streak that's still ranked in the top 10 who lost to somebody outside the rankings? Hopefully Marvin wins here. Could get weird if he doesn't. Then we have the fight simulator. We talk about the tools all the time. Did we invent MMA YouTube? No. Did we invent selling picks and bets? No. Did we perfect it? Yeah. Are we the leaders in this space? Without question. Without question. Like, there is nobody remotely close to having the offering that we have. There is nobody remotely close that does the volume that we do. It's just not a reality. We have over 4,000 people that use the website every single day, using the tools, using the picks, using the DraftKings fantasy stuff, using Prize Picks, using Underdog. And that's what makes it the most versatile, comprehensive, complete package on this planet, period, end of story. A couple people will streak every now and then. Oh, this guy hit 5 bets in a row. He must be a genius. Oh, he charges $100 a month. Oh, this guy is bragging about a DFS win. He must be a genius. Oh, that's a pinned tweet from 9 months ago. Oh, let me check out We Want Picks. $10? $10 for multiple people's picks and bets? They have an artificial intelligence, all sorts of tools. One of those tools is the fight simulator. The simulator simulates fights. That's exactly what it does. It's basically an insanely complicated, fancy calculator that takes all sorts of data inputs like grappling stats and striking stats, and then it simulates the fights. And then it gives you the information from those simulations. And it said, hey, in this simulation, fighter A won 80% of the time. Fighter B landed this many strikes in his wins and in his losses. And it gives you all that information. You can use that to build fantasy lineups. You can use that to place bets. You can use that for whatever you want. It's not just some cheap list. It's not just some fake create a sense of urgency text message or email that gets pushed out. It is a full-blown comprehensive website with everything you could ever need heading into a fight week, and it's freaking $10. And you know why it's $10? Because we're not greedy scumbags. This isn't a cash grab. This is a long-standing business that wants to build meaningful relationships with its customers, and you do that by delivering a fantastic product at a fantastic price. And despite adding more features and adding functionality and adding a developer to the team, that price never changed. WeWantPicks.com. Unlock the greatest offering this space has ever seen, period, end of story. And that's going to take us to Terrance McKinney taking on Christopher Duncan. This fight's a banger. This fight is an absolute banger. Two guys that are all gas, no brakes. One of them durable, one of them not. Both of them dangerous. This could go in a million different directions. Terrance McKinney, this is one of the most talented fighters on the UFC roster. If this guy had a chin and any cardio, he'd be undefeated. He has all the talent and ability you could ever want in a fighter. If you were building a video game fighter, you would build Terrance McKinney. You'd be like fast as shit, powerful striking, high-level wrestling, great jiu-jitsu. The problem is you used all of your bars on those things, and you had none left for the chin and none left for the cardio. That is the only dog on Terrance McKinney. The only criticism you can give him is he runs out of gas, and if you hit him hard enough, he will go down. But the skills are there, and arguably he's one of the most complete packages in this division. He just smoked Slava Claus. He's taking on Chris Duncan. Heavy-handed, tough as nails. He's never out of a fight. You've seen more than one fight of his where he's rocked, he's wobbled, he's almost finished, and he somehow survives and gets it done. He's got a ton of power. He is willing to bang. He can grapple as well. He has 14 takedowns in his 7 UFC fights, but he can struggle with control and takedown defense. He is coming off the decision win over Mataus Rebecki, where the damage was the difference. But that might be because Mataus Rebecki just bleeds if you look at him crooked. Chris Duncan's a fighter that more often than not I have picked wrong. All right, so keep that. It's a factor. Keep that in your mind as I'm breaking this down. I seem to get Chris Duncan fights wrong, and that's because I typically pick against him because I genuinely feel that his opponents are more skilled than he is. But what doesn't get factored into that is just the dog in him, the fact that you can't finish him. The fight happens, and all of a sudden, I'm correct. The skills, there's a skill gap. But Chris is just a freaking dog. He survives. He presses forward. He wins. He's insanely fun to watch, and he's matched up against somebody else who is also insanely fun to watch. These guys are almost polar opposites. Duncan is not very technical, but he's just so tough and he's so durable. Terrance McKinney is very technical. He's not durable. And we're going to get an interesting fight here. I have zero doubt whatsoever that Terrance McKinney will beat the absolute shit out of Chris Duncan early. There's not a doubt in my mind that for the first minute or 2 minutes of this fight, Terrance McKinney is going to beat the piss out of Chris Duncan. What happens after that, I have no clue. I am going to fall into my old trap of picking Terrance McKinney because if he's going to win the beginning of the fight, let's hope he can just finish it right then and there. If he can't, yeah, he's going to get beat up and he's going to get finished. Does not go the distance is the move. That's going to be a juice line. The under 1.5 is going to be a juice line as well. Terrance McKinney is the only real value here, given how good he is and what his price tag is. But like, damn it, dude. If he was durable, I'd be far more confident. Then we have Grant Dawson taking on Manuel Torres. This is an actual picture of Grant Dawson. At first, when I Googled Grant Dawson MMA fighter, the picture they gave me was just a soaking wet blanket on the street. That's all it was. And I was like, all right, it's a weird outfit for Grant. And I put it on here. And then I realized, oh, that's not his picture. He is a wet blanket when he fights and he's boring. And I'd rather just stare at a can of paint, not even watch it dry, just watch it wet in the can than watch a Grant Dawson fight. But to be fair to him, I used his actual picture here because, unbiased Ange. Grant Dawson's a grappler. He averages almost 4 takedowns per fight. The ground game's good. He has absolutely relentless pressure. Striking sucks. It's genuinely not good striking. But the pressure is fantastic. The clear advantage in almost every fight is his willingness to get a takedown, his willingness to do absolute slap dick on top and just hang out. The pressure, the crotch sniffing, it is all a recipe to destroy ratings, but also winning fights. Grant Dawson is going to continue to win fights for a very long time because of the style and his willingness to not put himself in the harm's way. He did just beat Diego Ferreira. He actually landed the most amount of significant strikes in his UFC career, and it was the busiest his striking has ever been, and he still had 6 takedowns and 11 minutes of control. That means there was only 4 minutes in that entire fight where he wasn't just laying on top of somebody. He's taking on Manuel Torres, well-rounded guy, dangerous striking, dangerous grappling. His striking is not technical, but he'll use knees in the clinch really well. He loves throwing to the head. He loves throwing to the legs. He's long. He's skinny. And he does a good job using that. The submissions are the long guy submissions. He's got triangles, power guillotines, things that use leverage. Same logic with the clinch work. He is coming off that KO win over the typically used to be, not anymore, durable Drew Dober. Grant Dawson, objectively, I'm spitting facts right now, all right? Don't disagree. Objectively, Grant Dawson is the most boring fighter on the UFC roster. I challenge you to name a more boring fighter. And if you say some dumb shit like Islam, you're wrong. That guy's A, got plenty of finishes, and B, he's fighting the best people on the planet. Grant Dawson's fighting middle of the road, unranked guys. To be this boring at that level is crazy. People want to complain about Hamzat and Islam, but Dawson makes them look like prime Chuck Liddell. I'd rather cut my lawn with a pair of scissors, blade by blade, than watch a Grant Dawson fight. Even his mother gets up to take a piss during a Grant Dawson fight. The problem is, he's good. He's good. He is a good fighter. And as long as he keeps winning, we're going to keep watching. Manuel is certainly more than capable of finding a finish here. More than capable of putting us out of our misery. He's got dangerous striking, slick submissions, but unfortunately, Grant is too good. He's good. I'm giving him all the credit in the world. His skills are there. And he's well-trained, and he works hard. My criticism is only the fact that he's boring, which, fine, be boring. Because if I'm him, if I'm Grant Dawson, and you say, hey, Grant, I just woke up from my nap. I guess you just fought. I looked at the stats. 14 minutes of control time in a 15-minute fight. What are we doing here? The answer would be, yeah, the UFC pays me half my money to walk in the cage. The other half, if I win, I'm not taking any unnecessary risks. I'm getting all of my money. And that is the move. I don't blame Grant for being boring. I blame the pay structure. If you're paying people half of the money to win, they're going to do anything it takes to win. Sometimes that's cheating. Sometimes that's being boring as hell. So boring as hell. Grant's going to win this fight. He is more than skilled. He is more than skilled to get a win here. He's a very good fighter, genuinely. This is not going to be an entertaining fight. The over 2.5 is about as much of a lock, literally as much of a lock as a lady fight. Grant Dawson is the pick. Then we have Firas Ziam taking on Nazim Sadykhov. Firas Ziam is a guy that I also typically pick very wrong because I usually pick against him, but he's good. Long, rangy striker. He works well in the clinch. He manages range, solid leg kicks. When he decides to close the distance, he'll get to a clinch. He'll work in some solid elbows. He's a very technical fighter. He avoids risks at all costs. He picks his shots. He engages when he sees an opportunity. He takes his time to point his way to victory. And you're going to say, well, he just finished Matt Frevol. That's A sneeze can finish Matt Frivola. He's coming off that stereotypical Firas Ziam win where he only landed 34 strikes in a 15-minute fight. But he did have 4 takedowns. He's taking on Nazim Sadykhov. Solid kickboxer, good speed, good power. He can be relentless. He can be reckless. Typically takes his time, though. Tries to find his openings. He's a slick striker. He can transition to wrestling if he needs to, if the striking is just not working for him. He is coming off that insane, ridiculous back-and-forth win over Nicholas Mata where he was almost knocked out. And then he survived, and he got his own finish in one of the most spectacular 3 minutes of fighting we have ever seen. Full disclosure, I don't think I have ever picked a Firas Ziam fight correctly. Genuinely. Personally, I don't know why, but I'm just not a huge fan. I don't think I like that French savate style. The hang out on the outside, take your time, pop, leave. I don't really love that style. And maybe that's why I keep picking against him and I just continue to be wrong. This time's going to be different. I'm no longer going to look at him, call him soft, say he's a boring Frenchie, and then pick the other side. I am not doing that. I am taking a step back. I am looking at this with no bias whatsoever. And in doing that, taking a step back, ignoring previous Firas Ziam fights and just looking at this for what it is, I realize that he is a boring Frenchie who loses this fight. And listen, his last win over Mike Davis, we cannot forget that Mike Davis was literally high on paint fumes. That whole locker room was a mess. Mike Davis was pulling cards, scooting his ass around, and he still almost broke Firas Ziam's knee clean in half. I'm going with Nazim here. He has shown us he's an incredible striker. We know that he's got takedown defense. We know he's got dog in him. Nazim is the pick. Please let me be on the right side of a Firas Ziam fight for the first time in my picking career. I am going to pick Nazim Sadykhov here. I threw a couple of bucks on him. I got a half a unit at plus 155. Let's go, Nazim. Let's go. Then we have the bonus. If you go to this URL, on this page, you'll see a couple of different offers. You'll see all sorts of different availabilities, and this is in your region, this is in that region. These people offer deposit match, these people don't. If you use any of those links, I don't care which, but any of those links, and you sign up, you make your deposit, we will get a one-time commission. And then we're going to slice off $50. We'll give you $50. It's a win-win-win. They get a new customer, we get a couple of bucks, you get a couple of bucks, and the triangle of success continues. Go to this URL, use the link, sign up, make a deposit. That'll take us to Mansur Abdul-Malik taking on Antonio Tricoli. This is the only fight on the card that I do not have ads for. That is in no way impacting the pick. I knew the pick. I saw 2 names on a paper. Who needs to watch tape? I knew the pick. I wish I had odds to determine if there was any value. If Mansur Abdul-Malik was minus 1,000, not surprising. If he's minus 155, also not surprising. I don't know what direction these odds are going to be, but I know what side I'm on. Mansur Abdul-Malik, a high-level college wrestler, and he fights the same way you would expect a D1 college wrestler to fight. He has insane power in his hands, and then he will shoot takedowns. The takedowns are big. They are clean. The striking is powerful. He does a really good job if he hits the legs, picking you up. On the ground, he's got phenomenal control. He'll elbow on top. He will make you work. He's coming off that no contest over Cody Brundage that was originally stopped. The fight was stopped. Then they went to the judges' scorecards. Everybody said, what the hell was going on? There was a headbutt. The headbutt is what created the exchange for Mansur to stop Cody Brundage. So then in that commission, they went to the scorecards. And according to the scorecards at that moment in time, they ruled it for Abdul-Malik. Then Cody's team said, wait a minute, this is Atlanta. In Georgia, you are not allowed to score an incomplete round. So then that's only 2 rounds. And the commission went ahead and they were like, you're correct. They should have never went to the judge's scorecard. There was an illegal headbutt. They overturned it. That is why it is officially a no contest. And that was a competitive fight, which is why I don't know what the odds are going to be here. He's taking on Antonio Tricoli. This guy is long. He comes forward. He's got decent striking. If the distance is close, he is going to look to grapple. He doesn't look like he has great power. Like when you're in the exchanges, there's not a ton of power there, but he does have knockdowns. He does have knockouts because of the length. He is 6'6". He can hit you from far outside the pocket. The takedowns are mostly trips and uchimatas, but once he gets you to the ground, he's an aggressive grappler. He used that length to lock up chokes. He is coming off that guillotine loss, though, to Treson Gore. We saw the Brundage fight. And in the Brundage fight, your takeaway might have been Mansur might not be the absolute destroyer of men that we thought he was, but he is certainly still good enough to smack the hell out of an Antonio Tricoli. And that's coming from somebody who thought Tricoli was actually decent. I've picked him in the past. I thought this guy was decent. Turns out, not only is he not decent, the striking's mediocre, and he's just not good at all. Mansur should absolutely outwork Tricoli here. Should be able to beat him on the feet. Should be able to beat him on the ground. Should be able to do whatever he wants. Mansur Abdul-Malik is the pick. Let's hope we get some decent odds here. Then we have Maycee Barber taking on Karine Silva. Maycee Barber coming back after whatever the hell medical issue that was. And here she is in a pretty tough matchup as a very substantial favorite. A solid striker. She got good boxing. The wrestling's decent. Not a grappler in style or by default, but she does have some well-tied takedowns when she needs them. She does a good job moving forward, staying in your face with the striking, squeaking in a takedown. The takedown defense is mid, 53%, and that could be a problem in this matchup. She has been taken down 12 times in the UFC, including once in her last fight. She is coming off that canceled main event against Erin Blanchfield earlier this year. She's taking on Karine Silva, a powerful grappler who is constantly working for submissions, both from top and bottom if you take her down. She has 19 wins. She has 17 stoppages, and those are a mixed bag of ground and pound, submission, TKO. She is busy, and she will find a finish. She's going to plot forward, nice high tight guard, throw a flurry of punches, rush in, body clinch, get you to the ground, work from there. She's constantly moving positions, constantly looking for submissions. She is coming off the decision win over Dione Barboza, where she landed fewer strikes, and she was taken down 3 times. And what the hell version of Maycee Barber are we going to get? Are we going to get the athletic striker who can effortlessly flow between boxing and grappling? Or are we going to get the young woman riddled with health issues? She literally had a seizure before her last fight. A seizure in the locker room. That's why it was canceled. And before the seizure, in an entirely unrelated illness, she was hospitalized for 9 days for a litany of issues. I like Maycee. I think she's a very talented fighter. The one time that I got a cameo of her giving Jacob a hard time, she couldn't have been cooler about it. But she is not who she used to be. I can't pick a potentially unhealthy Maycee Barber against somebody as dangerous as Karine Silva. I'll be rooting for Maycee because I think she's the better overall fighter. She has amassed a nice record here. She has done a lot of things at this level. I want to see her succeed, but the last 2 years have been rough for Maycee Barber. She's not even at her old gym anymore. She's at a new gym, a ton of health issues, had a seizure. What is that? What if that seizure's in her head? Meaning, what if she's worried about the weight cut and she doesn't do what she's supposed to do because she's worried she's going to have another seizure? And I mean, there's just so many things that could go wrong here. So many things that have gone wrong for Maycee Barber. She is the better fighter skill for skill. I am factoring health into this. I am factoring in the last year or two. I am factoring in a new gym. I'm going with Karine Silva. Karine Silva's the pick. Let's see if these odds widen or tighten before we jump on with a bet. Then we have the tape index. The UFC is headed to Paramount. I don't know what happens to the historical fight library. I don't know. There were rumors that ESPN was going to buy it. There's rumors it's just going to stay at Fight Pass. There's rumors that the UFC is going to dismantle Fight Pass. I don't know exactly where it's going to go, but I do know that no matter what happens to the historical UFC fight library, the tape index will be updated and the tape index will be ready to go. For those of you who like to do your own tape study, you know how tricky it can be scouring the depths of hell on the internet trying to find fights for the fighters on the card. Well, we've got you all lined up. What we do not do is host copywritten content. That's illegal. What we do, though, is line up every fighter from every card now and in the future, their full fight history, all the details of those individual fights, and we link out to the fights themselves. If there's a little red play button, you click it, video pops up, and you are off to doing your research. We have other tools on the website as well. One of them is the data analyzer. The data analyzer also has the tape index built into it. The data analyzer has every meaningful statistic ever for every fighter on that card and in the future. And once you select the card you want to do research on, then you select the fighter you're trying to do research on. It'll pull that fighter up, directly compare them to their opponent, and you can deep dive that data. You can even adjust the data. You can filter the data. How many strikes has this fighter landed in decision wins? How many takedowns does this fighter get in general? Now, how about in losses? And you can use that data to go find your spots, either make better picks, find betting lines that make sense for you. You can do whatever you want with that data. We have a line movement tracker. This will got the opening odds, the current odds, win probability, and the line movement for every fighter on every card. We have a prop hunter. This is a curated set of data specifically designed to help you find prop bets. We have an optimizer. The optimizer builds DraftKings and FanDuel fantasy lineups for you, and it has a beginner mode. I fully understand, as the leaders in this space at doing 500,000 views a month, not every single one of you either A, care, or B, know how to do all of this. So what we did is when we coded this from scratch, because we have a developer, when we coded this from scratch, we said, make it easier for new people to use. So we built a beginner mode, which instead of expecting you to know what these numbers mean, it's asking you very simple, high-level questions. We also have an app. Everything I just mentioned is available inside of the app. Just search We Want Picks in the App Store. The app is 100% free. You will get push notifications when bets are placed, when things happen, when there's updates, when we're going live. Check out the app. Download it for free now. Just search We Want Picks in the App Store. And all of that and 10 other things I didn't mention because people bitch. There are no YouTube ads on these videos. None. At least not in the mid. There's none in the middle. Zero. So if I'm going to go say, hey, do us a favor, support us, go to the website, and in return, you'll get the greatest offer this space has ever had. Would you rather that or a fucking YouTube ad for a car company or whatever the hell your algorithm is pushing to you? So let me promote my shit. Let me try to continue to feed my family. Let me continue to build the greatest product this space has ever seen without bitching. Okay? So I didn't touch on everything we have on the website because I could talk for an hour and a half. And then you will bitch, and in that case, it would be understandable. All the shit I just mentioned, the things I did not mention, available right now to you, $10 for an entire month. Here's a couple of cards coming up. We're going to close out this year with an absolute bang. And don't forget about that promo I mentioned a little while ago. Get your $50. Do whatever bets you want, whatever book you want. Get your $50. Let's go ahead and break down this main card. This is the second fight. I mentioned earlier, there are two fights on this card where the odds are dead smack even and haven't moved an inch in about 4 days. This is the other one. Brandon Moreno and Tatsuro Taira, dead even. And I was surprised. I told you. I opened up this video by saying I broke down every single fight on this card having no idea what the odds were. None. They weren't even available. If I wanted to find the odds, they weren't available at the time that I did my breakdowns. The notes I'm reading, I write. And anybody who says, oh, it's AI, fucking banned immediately. I work too hard for some weird to be like, AI. Go ask AI who wins a fight. You think you're going to get notes like this with the jokes I got? I write this shit by hand, well, on the computer. And while writing this, I was pretty firm in who I thought was going to win this fight. So to see it was dead even was a bit surprising. We got Brandon Moreno, the former flyweight champion of the world. He is one of the division's best. He's an absolute dog. He's a ton of fun to watch. He is very tough. He's got a great chin. He sets a nonstop pace. He averages almost 2 offensive takedowns per fight. He mixes things up pretty well. His biggest asset is definitely his pace and his will to win. He's going to continue coming forward. He's going to stay busy no matter what is happening. He is coming off the decision win over overrated Steve Erceg. Taking on 25-year-old Tatsuro Taira. He's pretty young still. He's getting, at this point, we started breaking him down when he was like 22. He's still young, but he has a ton of experience. Highly touted prospect. Style-wise, patient striker. Power's decent. The hands are strong. He's got good grappling. He does not have very good takedowns, but he will stick with them. He will drag you to the ground. He'll make you carry his weight. And he is coming off that psycho win over Hyung Sung Park where he knocked him down, took him down, and submitted him. This is a great matchup. This is a fun fight. This is an awesome fight to have on this card. Brandon is by far the more experienced fighter. I also think he's the more durable fighter. I also think he has the better striking. Taira is going to be the much better grappler, and Taira's going to have the finishing upside. The only real issue here for Taira is that his takedowns are not very good. And you combine that with Moreno's movement. He's got that awkward, not quite Dominic Cruz, but he's got awkward movement. That's going to make it even harder to get takedowns. On the feet, I have to assume that Moreno's unorthodox movement and the striking are going to be enough to squeak out a win. I am 100% sure I will get hate for picking against Tatsuro Taira because for whatever reason, people are obsessed with him. If you pick against Tatsuro Taira, you get people, wow, it was stupid, bad. Like, people are nuts. So I expect you people, the one hating on me for picking against Taira, to bet that line. Because it's even money. And if you're that positive he's going to win, bet the shit out of it. Because this line has been available for 4 days and nobody's betting it. Because if people were betting it, it would move. So put your money where your mouth is and bet on the Taira side. I think he loses. I just watched Alex Perez outstrike Tatsuro Taira. That's an objective fact. That's not an opinion. He outstruck him. He was losing to Alex freaking Perez, and the only reason he won, and who knows how the rest of the fight would go, but the only reason he won is because he climbed Alex's back and his knee blew out. Brandon Moreno can do literally the exact same thing. Outstrike him, stay safe, win this fight. Moreno's the pick. Please, for the love of God, if you agree with the Moreno pick, comment your support because I know I'm going to get hate from the Tatsuro Nut Riders. I know it. And it's not Japanese people. Those people are wildly respectful. They wouldn't comment the half the shit you people do. If you think Moreno wins, join me. Comment below so we can drown out the LOL, bad take, horrible. Shut up. Then we have Jan Blachowicz taking on Bogdan Guskov. Old ass Jan Blachowicz is still here in a razor-thin fight odds-wise. And these odds have yo-yoed back and forth. And I myself have struggled with this pick. Jan Blachowicz, former light heavyweight champion of the world. He's had a rocky couple of fights since then. Jan is a striker. He hits incredibly hard. He's got decent wrestling when he needs to. He doesn't wrestle very often, but we did see it against Prime Izzy. We saw it in his fight against Alex Pereira. He is a well-rounded guy. He's got a world of experience. His UFC record is 12-8-1, but he's got decent wins, like over Jared Gordon, Jacare Souza, Luke Rockhold, Israel Adesanya. He's coming off that close loss to Carlos Ulberg, where you could argue Jan won that fight. He came out early, had solid leg kicks, had good volume. I actually thought he did win that fight. He's taking on Bogdan Guskov, heavy-handed guy. He comes forward, he throws big, he mixes it up. When he's striking, he's fast. He does have some very real power. He keeps his hands low, but he's got good enough footwork and nice combinations. He doesn't get the early knockout, and if he doesn't have success striking, he will work you to the cage and try to get a takedown. On the top, he is patient and he's got control. He's not trying to find finishes. He's coming off that knockout win over Nikita Krylov where a monster right got it done. A lot of people are going to see Jan's age. They're going to see his recent record and they're going to jump all over Bogdan. Bogdan will not be minus 119 for long. And he was actually the underdog a few days ago. This line's moving. The issue with those deductive reasoning methods are that Jan's losses are to very good people. He had a draw with Ankalaev. He lost a split decision to Alex. Then he lost a questionable decision to Carlos Ulberg, who has the longest active win streak in the division. Bogdan is young. He hits hard. He's a gamer. But he is not the better fighter here. He's just not. And don't get me wrong. Youth might actually be enough here. A 33-year-old should be able to beat up a 42-year-old. Like that should actually be enough. But I'm still going to pick Jan. With that being said, relying on a 42-year-old light heavyweight to cash your parlays, that's a poor financial decision. That is a poor... You should not do that. I still think he wins, but you should not throw Jan Blachowicz in your parlays. Then we have Henry Cejudo taking on Peyton Talbot. And when this was announced, people were like, what the hell is this? Henry Cejudo has been fighting the best people on planet Earth for 10 years. Including his 3-year layoff. And now here he is fighting Peyton Talbot, who's one fight removed from getting mogged by a 50-year-old. This is a very interesting matchup to make, but the UFC knows what they're doing. They're trying to get Henry out of there, who makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a fight, and trying to push Peyton Talbot up. Henry Cejudo, we should all know by now, former Olympic gold medalist, former 2-division UFC champion. He retired in 2020. As like the greatest little guy fighter on planet Earth. He gave up the best 3 years of his career. He came back. He lost what I thought was a bad decision to Aljamain Sterling, and he has not really found any success since then. While he is an Olympic wrestler, the takedown accuracy is only 46%. He does have better striking than you would expect him to, but it's like this long, weirdo karate style. He's got a positive striking differential. He will mix it up on the feet, and then he'll work in some shots. He's coming off that disaster, sloppy fight with Song Yadong where there was an eye poke. They went to the scorecard, didn't quite know what to do. It was a hot mess. He's taking on Peyton Talbot. Flashy striker, lots of movement and power. He is massive for this division. Look at the height difference between these two. Peyton Talbot's a massive bantamweight, and Henry's the former 125-pound champion. He's going to look humongous. He's going to look 3 weight classes bigger in this fight. He fights using that length. He throws out 1-2s. He sets an incredible pace. He finds big shots. His aura did take a massive hit when he couldn't defend Hani Barcelos' takedowns, but we saw improved wrestling in his last fight. He's coming off that dominant win over Felipe Lima, where he won the wrestling scrambles, and he did hit hard. And the Twinks are taking over. Michael Morales, the verge of a welterweight title. Peyton Talbot back in the win column. The unfortunate reality of MMA is that your favorite fighter gets old and the UFC sends a zesty man to get him out of there. That zesty man in this case is Peyton Talbot. He's just too damn big, too fast, too durable to lose here. I love Cejudo, and I've been following his career long before MMA. I read his book after he won the Olympics, and I wish he could come in here and just wrestle his tiny little ass off, but he won't. He won't do it. He will strike on the outside. He's not going to attempt a takedown until it's too late, and Peyton is just too damn big. Peyton is the pick. I would happily. There are fights that we pick that sometimes I'm just like, please let me be wrong. And this is one of them. I want Henry Cejudo to win. And that's not because I think Peyton Talbot's a great fighter, and I think he has a huge future. Me wanting Henry to win has everything to do with Henry. I'm a big Henry Cejudo fan. I have been for a long time. I wish he didn't retire when he did. I wish he got the decision over Aljo, which would have been the fair thing to do. I've been following his career forever. I think he's a great dude. When he was leaning into the king of cringe, whatever the hell it was, when he was Triple C, that's fine. He managed to market himself without being a piece of shit. He was just cringy and annoying. I hope Henry wins this fight. I just don't think he will. And then we have the Hayabusa Black Friday sale. Hayabusa's given up to 30% off for a whole bunch of their stuff. And then on top of that, you can get 10% from your boys. If you use promo code WWP on anything on the Hayabusa website, or if you just go to WeWantPicks.com/Hayabusa, you get 10% off your entire order. Your entire order. I have a whole wall. You really can't see it with a camera angle. A whole wall of Hayabusa gloves stacked bottom to top. Some of them they sent me. Others I bought. I have been a Hayabusa guy forever. You guys know I've been managing professional fighters. Not anymore, but I managed, past tense, professional fighters for a very long time. Nick Newell, the one-arm fighter, was on ESPN, has a whole movie about him. I managed him for a very long time, and Hayabusa was our sponsor. And that was my first introduction about 10 years ago to Hayabusa. Like, this is nice shit. I have been training jiu-jitsu for 20 plus years. So I would always buy the Hayabusa stuff. And then I reached out and I said, I love you guys. I love what you do. I love the quality of product you make. I love that you're not trying to be some fashionable, cool kid company and you're just putting out high quality stuff. They said, awesome. We love you too. You're tall, you're dark, you're handsome. Best looking guy in this space. Let's work together. So we are. Use promo code WWP. And if you like UFC BJJ, they have a full UFC BJJ collection because they sponsor that event as well. Then we have the co-main event of the evening. Alexandre Pantoja taking on Joshua Van. Joshua Van popped up, got a couple of good wins, and all of a sudden he has sprung himself into a title fight at 24 years old. What a remarkable little rise to fame we got going on here. Alexandre Pantoja, I don't need to do a full breakdown on both these guys. Usually the cadence. And let me know if you like the cadence or if you don't need it. And obviously this fight's a bad example because you should know who both of them are. But my cadence when I do these videos are fighter A, talk about who they are, how they fight. Fighter B, who they are, how they fight. Then the matchup specifically, and I make the pick. Some other people go right to the pick. This guy's fighting this guy, 2-3 in his last 5, 1-4 in his last 5. I'm picking this guy, move on to the next. In my opinion, you get no real insight. You have no idea why the pick. You have no clue what this guy's style is versus this style. And it's just this guy, I'm going to pick this one. And typically when people do that, they just have topology on in the background and they're just reading what's ever on the screen. I'm also reading what's on the screen. I wrote what's on the screen. I got a whole ass script in front of me that takes me hours to put together. And the reason it's a script is you got to break down 14 fights at 28 different fighters. I'm supposed to remember 28 different fighters, how many strikes they're landing per fight, who they just beat, how they beat. No way I'm going to remember that. I got too much going on up here. So let me know if you need the cadence or like the cadence. If you're diehard, maybe you don't. If you're newish and for undercard fights, I am curious. So I'm not going to do the full cadence here. We don't need a full breakdown of who Pantoja is or a full breakdown of Josh Van. We have grappler Alexandre Pantoja who moves forward with insane pressure. We have striker Josh Van who has the composure of a veteran and great hands, albeit very, very hittable. The matchup is interesting because I'm about to glaze Josh Van right now. And not because I've got a weird thing for Asians. That's not why. That's a separate issue I'm working on with my family. I think Joshua Van is one of the cleanest strikers in the division because he somehow manages to get hit with almost 7 significant strikes per minute, but his offense is insane. 8.86 significant strikes landed per minute. The offense is impressive. He also has the composure of somebody far more experienced than him, and I do not suspect that the bright lights of a title fight are going to wear on him. The bright lights of a UFC debut didn't matter. I have never seen this guy overwhelmed by the moment, so I don't suspect the title fight is going to overwhelm him. I do, however, feel that the literal pressure from Pantoja is going to overwhelm him. If Cody Durden is taking you down, then Pantoja is taking you down and holding you down. Pantoja is on a different level of dominance in this weight class. I'm going to pick Pantoja. I don't think this is going to be Van's last title shot, though. This isn't like JDM. I don't see JDM ever getting back to a title fight. The way that Islam beat him, and if Islam is still the champ, there's just no way JDM is going to close that gap and ever make that fight competitive. If Islam leads the division, we have different circumstances. Joshua Van, we obviously have not seen this fight yet, and Alexandre might destroy him. And if Pantoja destroys him, I still don't think this would be Josh Van's last title fight. At the rate he's improving, at his durability, what his hands are doing, his composure, this kid is built for success. He will be successful in the future. He is not going to leave the champion at UFC 323. And then we have the main event. I opened this up by saying the UFC is going to hit you over the head with this is Merab's 4th title fight in the calendar year, and that's a UFC record. It's kind of bullshit. That is officially a UFC record. 4th title fight in 1 calendar year. But we watched Alex Pereira save what was 2024's MMA. He saved the whole year by fighting 4 times. Title fights, no less. Title fights, no less. But that technically wasn't a calendar year. One of those fights, I believe, was in January or something like that, which kicked it out of the official calendar. But it was a 12-month period. He had 4 title fights. So all the credit to Merab, but Pereira did it first. Merab Dvalishvili, nonstop, insane cardio, will never stop moving forward wrestler who has become far more dangerous as of late. All of a sudden, his hands are opening up. All of a sudden, the submissions are there. And I think what's happened is the relentless pressure that is now famous is getting into his opponent's heads. And they're worried about the pressure. And they're worried about the wrestling. And there's too much going on for them. And they mentally are in a pretzel. And Merab's just moving forward. He almost finished Corey Sandhagen in his last fight, and he had an insane, a ridiculous, an unbelievable 20 takedowns in that fight. He's taking on Petr Yan in a rematch, mind you. This is a rematch. We'll talk about that in a minute. Petr Yan, very high-level kickboxer. He does a great job standing his ground, making you pay for your entries. He also has good offensive wrestling if he needs it, and very good takedown wrestling if he needs it. You know this is a rematch, right? It's in the freaking title. It's in the freaking title of the event. This is from a fight night main event 2.5 years ago. It was not a very close fight. Merab had 11 takedowns. He had 7 minutes of control. He landed 2.5 times the total strikes that Petr Yan landed. And if you're picking Petr Yan, that means you feel that somehow between 2.5 years ago and now, Petr's takedown defense has gotten exponentially better. And Merab has either not improved at all or gotten worse. I don't think any of that is true. Petr is very good, but he has no way close that gap from 2.5 years ago because Merab has been leveling up. Merab's going to be the pick. Minus 450 should be minus 900. I get how good Petr is. I'm not minimizing Petr, but we saw this fight and it wasn't close. And I am the one who usually sits here and say, if a rematch is from years ago, I don't care what happened the first time. They have both changed. Yes, both of these fighters have changed, with Merab being far better than he was then. Far better. Merab, at his age, the leveling up that he's doing is wildly impressive. Merab dominates here. It was a 5-round fight last time. It's a 5-round fight this time. Merab wins this fight. Merab is still the champion at the end of this event, and then we're going to start talking about should he move up in weight. Guys, that's the breakdown. Do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel. The reality is we appreciate you very much. And to show your appreciation, I keep this schedule every freaking Sunday, no matter what's going on in my life, no matter what's going on in the MMA world. Every Sunday, you will get a video like this, whether there's fights coming up or not. And if there's not fights coming up, you're still going to get a breakdown for the next event. So, subscribe so you don't miss one of those videos. It's very helpful. It shows the boys the appreciation. No matter how my day's going, if I see those numbers ticking up, it brings me a little bit of joy. And that's free to do. We are filming 2 more vlogs to close out this year. UFC 323 Fight Foods vlog and a holiday Fight Foods vlog. If you want to send something for the vlog, we do a full mail day. We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406, Prosper, Texas 75078. All of that stuff is free. Now we're hitting the pay. If you want to support the boys even further and in return get the greatest offering this space has ever even sniffed, go to WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. You'll unlock all the tools like the Data Analyzer, the Fight Simulator, the Optimizer that now has the beginner mode and the ability to build FanDuel lineups, the line movement tracker, which will give you opening odds, current odds, win probability, and line movement for every fighter on every card. The Prop Hunter. This is a curated set of data specifically designed to help you find prop bets. The Tape Index for those of you who like to do your own research and watch the fights with your own eyes. And of course, it's more than just this beautiful face. There's 5 of us. 4 are humans. 1 is a robot. You got me, Jacob, Artem, BetSam, and then the artificial intelligence picking fights based solely off of historical data. Check it all out right now on the website, wewantpicks.com. I say this at the end of every video, and I am 100% sincere. A, thank you for being here. I just couldn't imagine my life was heading in this direction. And B, I am so excited as a diehard fight fan who has seen every fight ever since the 90s. I am so excited for the Paramount era. I was excited for the ESPN era, and that leveled this whole sport up. This whole sport leveled up because of ESPN and actually COVID. Now it's going to level up again on Paramount with the pay-per-views going away and massive events being free on CBS. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you are too. Thank you for being here, and good luck this weekend.